Welcome to Google for Real Estate. I'm Derek Bixler, real estate agent, outdoor adventure sportsman, and local SEO and reputation management geek. Let's get into it. It's been a couple weeks since I've been here, so I do have a few things to talk about, my own things, a couple tidbits taken from others, and then ask me anything or wins or anything as we always do. So before I dive into my stuff, does anybody have any issues or wins or anything you want to bring to the table? And if not, I'll roll right into my news and random things. Columbus Day has populated in your Google Business profile. Some may have it, some may not. Some states seem to have it, some don't. And I think Massachusetts, so I think I saw Diane. Massachusetts, I think, is in Indigenous Peoples Day. They've changed it to. So some of you might have Columbus Day, some of you might have Indigenous Peoples Day, and some of you might not have anything in there. But if you do, you definitely want to click on your edit profile, click on special hours, and then click on the holidays and make sure you're open every holiday. Hopefully you did that. You just missed Labor Day being open if you didn't say you were open, and a reminder, you show up as, on my phone, it's red or kind of like a maroon, orange, red, closed, or this business usually is open but might not be open today. They didn't tell us. Or green, I'm definitely open on this day. So Columbus Day should have populated in your dashboard, and you can go ahead and say that you're open now, or at least a day before that day, say that you're open for sure. In your website, in your Google Business profile, I see this a lot, and I heard somebody mention it on a podcast, so just figured I'd mention it real quick. Google wants that S on your website. So when you put your website into your Google Business profile, you click Edit Profile, go down to the website part, put your URL in there. You want to go to don't type it in there, number one, unless you really know what you're doing. You go to your website, agentderek.com, and then I'm just going to highlight the URL, copy it, and that's going to give me all the HTTPS / blah, 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 / at the end, all that stuff, which is what I want to give Google. They will take off all the gobbledygook and display it a different way typically, but you want to give them all that. And the important thing about this tip is you want that S on there. The S is the added security. The SSL certificate means your site is secure, or at least that level of secure. It used to be more optional back in the day. You had to pay extra money for it. It was an add-on a lot of times, or a lot of people didn't have it. These days, it's usually built in or included or whatever. So hopefully, if you don't have the S and have an SSL certificate, you need to do that. But then the second step is make sure that that link that you're putting into your Google Business profile has the S on it. So you can just go and look at that HTTP, and there should be a little S there. And if not, replace it with the one with the S. Can Google, once it goes to the website, scan and see that it's secure? Probably, I guess. But for some reason, it likes to actually have it in there technically. And if you're running ads or something like that, Google ads, I would always, same practice, go to the website, copy that entire thing, hopefully with the S, and then that's your link for Google Ads as well. Local services ads. A lot of these seem now old to me because I feel like I've talked about them and posted about them weeks ago, but I guess I've not mentioned these in the room. So local services ads, the guaranteed is going away. They used to have a kind of a money back guarantee if you had a problem with a business that was Google guaranteed or Google screened, they also call it. Then there was kind of some compensation you could get from Google. I've never heard of anybody doing it or dealing with it or anything. And there is some monetary limit, $1,000, or it might be different from that, but it's not like an unlimited money back guarantee, but there was some kind of guarantee tied to it. So they're stopping that. So any kind of money, any guarantee there was is going away. They're also taking away the badge of guaranteed, Google guaranteed or Google screened. And then in favor of the verified badge, which is kind of making it more universal. It's just that blue check mark, similar or exactly to possibly the one on your Google Business profile. If you go to your profile, you'll see hopefully a little blue check mark. And so they're moving in favor of that verified badge. They have increased the verification steps needed in regular Google Ads also. So if you haven't been in your regular Google Ads account lately, you might have some verification steps you need to do in there. So a bunch of verification and Google screen kind of stuff changing. You still, in local services ads, still have to do all the same business verification steps. Those are all still in there. You still have to do those. Plus, then on the regular Google Ads account, you have to do a bunch of verified stuff. But the guarantee part of it, I guess, is going away. The public facing part of it is going away in favor of a more universal badge that'll be on your Google Ads, your local services ads, and kind of your Google business profile, looking the same everywhere. New wheelchair accessibility, new wheelchair accessible parking lot attribute just dropped also. So under your attributes, which are those things, if you click the edit profile tab, scroll the whole way down, there are the wheelchair accessible, women owned business, what kind of restrooms you have. The parking ones are fairly new as well. Do you have a hearing assisted, blah, 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 little features that you have at your business. So there is a new one, and you may have gotten an email about this. A lot of people got an email. I did, even on profiles that were on top of and in all the time, got emails saying, please check your business information and make sure it's correct. Usually you only get those emails if you're not on top of your stuff and in your dashboard and it thinks that maybe this business's information isn't correct, or if they don't respond at all, maybe this business doesn't exist anymore. So they sent it out even to profiles that are on top of stuff. And typically what I found was that's why they were doing it. They had this new attribute in there, the new wheelchair accessible parking lot attribute in there. I think it's under accessibility, not the parking section, but easy to find in there. They want you to answer that, or they may have already answered it for you and they want you to approve or disapprove their change. So go in there, do that, make Google happy, make sure they know that all your information is correct. And a note, as always, too, I weekly try to click on and go through that edit profile tab as well as the services tab. Those are the two tabs that sometimes have suggestions from Google's or from Google or changes, or sometimes there are new things like these things that came out, or the special hours, Columbus Day, like I mentioned. So you want to be checking, if nothing else. I mean, I literally just the edit profile tab, I click on it and I scan it very quickly. I stop at the special hours, make sure there's no new one. And then everything else, I'm just scanning very quickly, just making sure there's no call outs of things that I need to do. And Google has seen me. This person came to their profile. They clicked on their settings. They went through them. We know this business's settings are still good. That's little tiny brownie points. And then the same with the services tab, that sometimes can have changes in it as well. And then there are other ongoing best practices that I obviously talk about all the time, but those two for sure you want to be doing. And hit up that wheelchair accessible. If you don't have a physical location, you will not have the wheelchair accessible parking because you don't have a parking lot. Columbus Day, I already mentioned that. The new Google Pixel phone looks pretty awesome. I'm getting hit up on my phones, obviously, because I'm Android. And I might actually switch. I don't like switching. I've been a Galaxy person for a while now, but the new Google phone looks really, 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 really sick and has AI. It's the first phone built from the ground up with AI in mind and like fully integrated everywhere with it. And they've got a foldable one too. That looks pretty awesome. I'm not really into those foldable ones, but this one looks pretty awesome. Except somebody I know that has the Samsung foldable one says he has got it replaced, I think at least twice, maybe three. I want to say three times, but at least more than once, because eventually the middle of that foldable screen like cracks or breaks or whatever. So anyway, but they have regular phones as well, the Pixel. So I don't know. I still got a year left on my phone, I think, something like that. But might get a Google phone next time. Not that AI is not in the Samsung, but the Samsung also, you got competing things because Samsung has their own Samsung AI or Bixby or whatever dumb thing it tries to get you to use, and its own messaging like app and its own stuff that it wants you to use. But it's an Android Google operating system, and I want to use all Google stuff, so it's kind of competing and got two things on the phone. So if I got a Google phone, that would just be all Google all the time with all the AI. And Google is leading the charge on device AI. So most AI takes a ton of computing power, and most AI things are done somewhere else in their server rooms. And takes somewhere else, and then the answer comes back to you. Like when I talk to my Google speaker or my Alexa or whatever, it doesn't do all that on the speaker. It sends that question out real quick and then comes back and says the answer to me. And AI works similarly. But for certain things to work properly, or in zones that don't have internet or whatever, they need to be able to run AI on the device. And most of the ChatGPT, Google, Perplexity, most of them call them a Flash or some kind of down mini version or something. They have on-device versions these days. If you use an on-device version, it makes your phone really hot. It'll drain the battery really fast. Again, takes a lot of computing power to do it. So that's why you don't typically do it if you don't have to. But this phone obviously will have the on-device stuff baked into it. Google's also leading the charge for robotics on device. So actual robots, or even the ovens or any other device, I guess. Humanoid robots is what comes to mind when I think about or hear robots, ones that look like, a walking thing. But robots could mean other things. And obviously they are Waymo also. They own Waymo, the car company, the self-driving car company, which is also expanding. So Google in the AI world for sure. Nano Banana, if you never heard of that, I'd never heard of it, but it's a version of, and I can't figure out, I didn't really go to it too much. When I did, it looked like I had to pay for it, but it's using Google Gemini's image generation software. If you Google Nano Banana, you can find it. I was able to find it pretty easily. I just didn't play with it at all. But what they were saying on what I was listening to was it's kind of like Photoshop, and some others can do it as well, but it sounds like this is really good at it and better than most, I guess. But you can drop an image in there and say, replace this background with, make me at the beach, give me a 5 o'clock shadow, insert this other person with me, and, pretty much edit or create anything you want, which a lot of the other ones you can kind of create stuff, but editing isn't as good. Definitely Canva's AI editing sucks. There's a couple of features that I use a lot, but most of it's not great. So this Nano Banana, as they're calling it, but really it's Gemini Flash. It's running off of Google's AI. It's supposed to be pretty awesome. Another reason now I'm really close to still not paying for any AI, and I'm really close to ChatGPT, but Google has, I think they've got better video generation. Now they've got probably better image generation stuff, and I'm a creative, so I kind of want that stuff. Plus I'm in the Google world. I don't know. I'll start paying for one or both maybe at some point. And then on any questions about any of that stuff? Kind of flew through that.
I don't have a question. I just have a comment. It's, when AI brings up photos, or you get them from Google, whatever, you need to make sure that they are not copywritten, because just because they come up on, chat or whatever, Perplexity, you can get in trouble for them. So now I have to watch it.
Yeah, when you need an image for something and you just Google it and use that image, you mean? Like that?
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
Totally.
Yes, I know some people that, and that's how it came up, that got in trouble about using, when you have a listing and it's expired or whatever, it's old, and if you use their pictures, you get fined really bad. Well, using Google pictures are even worse. So
Totally, because a lot of those are sourced by companies with good SEO, like news outlets, the Wall Street Journal, or your local paper, or companies that probably care about copyrights and stuff.
Right.
I won't say I never do. Sometimes I have to for a thumbnail or something, and it's behind stuff and it's not prominent. But Canva, I try to stick to whatever's provided in Canva for the most part.
Yeah, I do know. You can go into Google and it'll say, okay, pay $1 or whatever for this. People go, I don't need to pay that. I'll just, cut and paste. And I do know that my daughter has everything copywritten for her photos.
Yeah, yeah. There are people that creatives that spend time doing that stuff are hardcore about it. Nobody understands why or why would you. I hate the as far as like real estate, I understand others, but real estate photography, I don't like the guy I use. He's not quite as good as some others, but there's none. He'll do what I want. There's no licenses or like you give me the files and I'll do what the it's my listing and I pay for these pictures and I'm not like I hate that it's theirs and really it's not even mine or the sellers or get out of here. I'll go take my own then if that's what it's going to be because I don't want to have to make permission now to use it forever or take it down or I don't know. That irks me. But regular creatives and things, you want to have control over your own stuff. That's what you do for a living a lot of the time. And Nano Banana, actually, I forgot about this. You can edit photos like it knows real time. It can go out. It's the AI, so it can go out and research things and know current things. So one of the examples they were using is it took like a Google Earth image and uploaded it, and then it said, take this image and highlight the blank building and the surrounding block and do this or that and make a call out that tells me how many floors and blah blah blah. And so it had to pull some other information about the building or something. It was a good real estate example actually. And then it did it and did it pretty nicely in what you would pay somebody a bunch of money to do. And there's kind of AI to do that before, but not like that and that easily. Or even he just dropped a map in there, put a star or a dot on the map and said, give me a street view from where this star is, and then give me call outs and highlight this or that. And it pretty much did it. So it could even, you put a map down and say, hey, map out all these addresses, highlight them in the aerial, give me an aerial for each one. Or like it sounds pretty awesome. I'm sure there's some limit. And even if you pay for Gemini, the $20 or whatever plan, there's going to be some limit if you use it too much. But yeah, sounds pretty awesome. And like Mia said, as it relates to this, hopefully if you say, replace the background and make me in New York City, hopefully it's not just going out and pulling a image from the Wall Street Journal of New York City and putting it behind me. Hopefully it is maybe doing it looks at a few and then actually creates its own is what it should be doing at some point anyway. All of this kind of basing it on something and then making that thing move. It's kind of, I feel, going to be antiquated soon. Soon it'll scan the thing, or you'll get your body scanned with LiDAR. And most iPhones, I don't think Androids have them anymore because they were useless and nobody used them, I guess. But LiDAR can kind of 3D measure things. So at some point you'll LiDAR yourself and it'll actually create. It's not just, I got to take a bunch of videos for this to base on and make move to manipulate something I gave it rather than just creating the entire thing. Also on Google, you can, in like VO3, or they have some other video products, you can drop an image in there. So you can make an image in Nano Banana, any image you wanted to, and then you could drop it in VO3 and it will turn that image into a video. And then you could even make like multiple scenes. I think there's a limit to how long it can be. I think I want to say it's a couple minutes actually, but I don't know, maybe it's 30 seconds or something. But even so, you could create pretty sick reels probably. Even just stuff like you could take a house picture and drop it in there and say, make this house hovering or all that crazy stuff that you see sometimes. And I get ads for like how to make viral video ads for real estate or something, and the house drops out of the air and crashes on the ground. It's becoming a lot easier for just the layperson to kind of do that kind of stuff, probably. So there's probably some applications in real estate as well. What else I got here? Google Translate. Google Translate can now teach you a language. So everybody knows what Google Translate is. You can type something in, it'll translate language. It can also now do real-time translation. I think it's been able to do that for a little while, but probably even better now with AI and just speed of things. So you could real-time talk to it. It'll then talk to the person in their language. Then that person answers. Also works on the phone, at least on my Android. When I answer, I can click, I don't know, a button. I think it says translate, and then you pick the language, and then it will do that same thing within the phone call or whatever. But now it will also teach you the language, because now there is AI built in, and you can even tell it like what level you already are now and what the application will be. And again, it's AI, so it's going to ask you a bunch of questions probably about what you want to do and why you want to do it, and then base the teaching on that. And then the teaching will probably be super, super custom because it's AI and will react to how fast you learn, blah, blah, blah. So that's pretty cool. I might check that out. I wouldn't mind. I have no use for it really, but maybe Spanish. But would be kind of fun to do maybe. Search Engine Roundtable, which is a show I watch, podcast, whatever you want to call it. They mentioned ChatGPT versus Google.com, and it's actually ChatGPT vs Google.com. And they were surprised that they got away with this, putting Google and both of those branded terms in a URL. But it's still here, and it's put on by Ahrefs, which is a SEO web analytics tool. But this website was put together solely to illustrate how much traffic is coming from different sources. Because since AI was traffic to websites, clicks from search to websites, that's traffic. Because since the inception or introduction of AI, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot, Gemini, blah, 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 it's been very hard to track if traffic is coming from an AI, or sometimes you couldn't track it at all. I think, ChatGPT you can see now, and many of them you can see in a web analytics tool like your Google Search Console or Ahrefs or something, whatever you're using. But it's still a little bit harder. You don't know exactly where it or how it came, don't have all the same data. So they put this together to help illustrate where traffic is coming from. So you can go there yourself. I won't spend a ton of time on it other than to call out a couple main points. Traffic sources compared, and this is the latest month's traffic, month over month growth rates for all traffic sources. Google's, so this is clicks to websites again. Traffic means clicks to websites from searches. Google, 42%, and this is North America, I believe. 42%, Bing being the closest with 1.62%. DuckDuckGo on the rise. DuckDuckGo actually is the highest or the fastest rising traditional search engine, which in my view doesn't matter because traditional search engines kind of going away. But anyhow, 42%, 41.9% for Google for traffic, 1.6 for Bing, 0.26 for DuckDuckGo. And that's all the traditional search engines they listed. So any others that may be out there, I guess, what else? I can't think of any. Yahoo search maybe, or I'm sure there are others that I'm not thinking of. They're just so low, they're insignificant. So Google's still killing it. And again, this isn't search, just how much search traffic or visits to Google. This is how many clicks the search engine is sending to websites. So Google's still top of the heap with 42. And then over on the AI side, ChatGPT, 0.19, but up 5%. Perplexity 0.02%, but up 5%. Copilot 0.01, Copilot is Bing's, up 1%, and Gemini is down slightly. And Gemini being down, and I can see throughout the rest of the numbers of the other things in this on here that Gemini is down, which is Google's AI. But that would make sense to me because there's no sense in even going to the Gemini app to do something because it's in regular Google traditional search and it's kind of baked into other places. So I would expect that would be down because they're cannibalizing their own traffic kind of with Gemini. But also Google traffic is also up 1.4%. And like I said, DuckDuckGo, traditional search engine traffic is up too. So Google still definitely the biggest as far as sending clicks to websites. Now I'm just scrolling down a little bit, see if there's anything else interesting to call out. Google, ChatGPT is definitely the highest, not like a lot higher, but higher than the others. DuckDuckGo again, the highest out of the traditional searches. The other ones, I don't know if DuckDuckGo, I wonder if, let's see, DuckDuckGo business profile. Grow your business with Reddit. No, DuckDuckGo is a blah, blah, blah. Advertise on DuckDuckGo search. So it looks like they have some paid ads, but no, I was just trying to see if there was a free listing service of some type like Bing, Places, Apple Business Connect, Google Business Profile, all that stuff, but I do not see anything on there. So if you want to check that out further, you can go to chatgpt-versus-google.com. While it's up, I don't know how long it's going to be up. I guess forever. I don't know. This is kind of interesting. This is traffic share within different industries. So under real estate, the clicks to websites in the real estate industry, 49.5% from Google. So Google's still half of the clicks. Bing, 2.8%. So way, barely, but a little bit. ChatGPT, 0.2%. DuckDuckGo, Perplexity, blah, 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 with very little. And then others are 47.3%. And if you're wondering what others would be, that's mainly socials probably, or direct traffic to, I suppose, TikTok. I don't think they wouldn't track direct traffic probably. So those would probably be clicks from TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, yada, yada. So that's real estate. Google's still getting the most clicks. Key insights, blah, blah, blah. AI assistants maintain strong growth momentum. Like I said, 5%, Claude 5% growth, which is still seems like they have a tiny share compared to Google. But if you're growing 5% every year, that adds up pretty quickly. And Google has their own AI too, which they're not even including like AI mode or any Google product in the AI side of this thing, other than Gemini. But again, Gemini, I don't think it relates, like I said. Content rich industry, blah, blah, blah. AI search, blah, blah, blah. Search landscape diversifies beyond Google. So AI assistants and specialized platforms require multi-channel optimization strategies. So just what we've been saying, multi-channel search everywhere optimization now. We need to be on all the places, and be looking good on all the places doesn't mean you have to be dominating every single platform, but you got to be listed everywhere, looking awesome, looking good, and then trying to dominate one or two maybe. Google maintains strong global presence, blah, blah, blah. AI, yada, yada. So there's some more stuff you can look at on there if you want to. Google encouraging more clicks in AI mode and AI overviews. So like I've mentioned before, Google ChatGPT, all these AIs, they don't just go out and know things about the world. They have to pull the information from somewhere, and they want it to be current. So they have to play nice with content creators, bloggers, newspapers, everybody that makes us, all the people that makes content that they go out and read and use to answer people's questions. If they don't satisfy those people, if those people do not get traffic like we were talking about or get clicks to their stuff, that's how they make money, then they'll stop doing it. And then the AIs won't have anything to base anything on. I guess they could just listen to the world at some point, or at some point they'll already know everything, or I don't know. But as of right now, they need people, content creators. So they have to play nice and send clicks. And since Google introduced AI overviews and AI mode and all the AI in there, SEO people and content creators have complained about, we can't track it in AI mode properly. We're getting less clicks, or the clicks don't get us the good conversions that we used to give, or whatever. Actually, it shows the opposite, I believe, or at least Google says the opposite, that they are sending better traffic. So it was less clicks, but it was better, higher converting clicks. So overall, people were netting a better result. But now they are also encouraging more clicks by making, that little link button that you could click to go to that website to look at the source or whatever, to learn more, making that a little bit more prominent. I've seen some carousels, more prominent carousels of the sources, kind of each website in a nice little pretty carousel where you could click on to go to the website to read more. A lot of times I've also seen, so I'll do a search and I'll do it, and I'll see it. They must be testing it. You'll refresh it and it'll be different. Sometimes the AI overview will be above, all the way at the top, answering my question, again, with little links and the AI mode button to learn more in AI. And then below it will be websites and things. Half the time now, it seems like they are putting the websites at the top above the AI overviews. So again, kind of testing, making those people happy, encouraging more clicks. But for me, I'm just scrolling down past that immediately and going to the AI overview, because it always gives me a fantastic answer. Even to long tail questions, detailed questions, it usually comes up with a great answer. And if I want to double check it, the links are right there for me to click and go into it or whatever. So Google is trying to encourage more clicks and appease the content creators. And like I said, they and ChatGPT, they all kind of have to, or the content goes away. People won't make it, or maybe they will. I don't know. But as of right now, for Google specifically, they really need to. This was on, so that was all Search Engine Roundtable. Ranking Academy, which is a YouTube channel that I watch from time to time, they mentioned, and I didn't know about this, Google Takeout. So we all know Google has 8 bajillion different apps, and I think I went in the App Store on the phone. This is an app, this is a desktop thing, but I think I went on my phone one time and counted something like 56 different Google apps that I could get in my App Store. So anyway, this is another one, Google Takeout, and you use it, you could, and I'm going to go and see if it can do other stuff too, but the application they were talking about was downloading your reviews. So there's no way until now that I knew of, other than copying and pasting maybe, to get all of your reviews from Google in text form. So again, it's called Google Takeout, and I thought I pulled it up. Is that it? Yeah, Google Takeout, and I have it up now. Access log, blah, blah, blah. Android Takeout. All right, I'm going to have to watch a tutorial trying to see if there's a bunch of like things you can select. I don't see a Google. Oh, there we go. Google Business Profile, all data related to your business. And there are check marks, your Google Earth projects, blah, blah, blah. So it looks like Google Takeout is really just a way to get your data from Google, from all the things. Your calendar, it looks like, is in here, Canvas, Chrome, blah, yada, yada. And then the Google Business Profile is just one of the things that you have the ability to get data from. And the way they explained it on the thing I heard was it ends up coming to you in spreadsheet form, I believe, or maybe it was some other form, and then he asked the thing to make it a spreadsheet, but eventually it was a spreadsheet. And I'm going to do this because I am interested in this and having my reviews in text form, because then you could do things like drop that into ChatGPT or your AI of choice and ask it, what are people saying to me? What am I good at? All those things that we're saying. And you could, I mean, they can read that anyway. Would it be any better? I don't know. Because they can go out, if you ask ChatGPT to research you and pay specific attention to my reviews and what people are saying in my reviews, it can do that stuff. So probably do it without it, but still be nice to have all your data, I guess, and all your reviews in one place. Or if you wanted to put your reviews on your website, which is a great idea and should be doing that, this might be a shortcut to add a bunch of reviews to your website because you have them all in one place, copy and paste the text and things. There are widgets for Google reviews that you can use, but a lot of times plugins and widgets, when things scan those, they can't really read them because it's pulling that stuff from somewhere else. It's not text that's natively based on your website. And I'm sure there are some that can kind of do that, or I'm speaking a little bit beyond my, I don't know, codes and deep into that stuff, but I know widgets and things like that, it can't read the same way as just text that's built, your header and your body text and the text and things that are just built in, ingrained in your website. So adding testimonials probably optimally would be actually something you built on your website with the text there, and not some kind of widget that pulls over your Zillow reviews and or your Google reviews or whatever. So this might be able to help with that possibly. So that's a new tool that I had never heard of and going to look into a little bit more. Google Takeout. Sterling Sky, SEO Minion plugin. Nah, you guys don't care about that. And Neil Patel. I've been watching a lot of Neil Patel lately. He just, actually, this kind of pertains to conversations in the rooms this morning and in the last few rooms about content and what to make content about. And Neil Patel, everything I keep seeing him on, every podcast, every video he makes, he's always talking about two things: more omnipresence, the search everywhere optimization. He's the one that coined that, I believe. So being in all the places so that you appear everywhere. And then also the content that is winning is news and new things, because it is everything under the sun is out there. And when you make content that is just regurgitated, even if it's like about your town or something, if it's like a book report, I researched it, I compiled some information just like all the other people did and put it somewhere, that's not going to help you as much as if there's news, something new, something that people haven't seen yet, or a different take, possibly your own opinion on it, your own favorites, dislikes, likes, pros, cons, your own insight into it, not just a regurgitation of things. But he always talks about news, new things, things that people haven't seen yet. So as far as local content for us, for real estate agents, news isn't that hard to come up with, really. In my town, township meetings, every month there's a township meeting. It's on YouTube. It's live while it happens. Then you can watch it. They're a couple hours long, and I built all the thing, the Instagram channel, the website. It's called Awesome Carlisle. Built out all the stuff and then started kind of doing it, and was overwhelmed by how much content there was to pull out of just those meetings. Like there's always some bill being voted on, or the trash is going to go up, or there's a development over there, or these citizens came in and complained about this thing, or this road is having people hit by cars a lot, so they want to put speed bumps over there. And that's just like one meeting. There's all these things. So AI hopefully can help condense that a bit. But that would be a good way to have news and things that are new and things that people haven't seen yet, rather than regurgitated content that everybody's seen already. So he always, every time he's talking, he talks about content that's winning is new things, or original, at least, news. And he also mentioned to stop trying to make so much content. He said they spend much more time on socials and things promoting content that they've created than creating the content itself. So they write a blog post or make a YouTube video or whatever, but then there's like a whole week or a bunch of emails and a bunch of posts and a lot of effort going around driving people and maximizing each piece of content rather than always having to come up with something. And that's a lesson I could learn for sure. I'm sitting here for an hour every week, most weeks doing this. There's a million tidbits in here. But I don't send out an email before saying, hey, it's happening now, and posting. Sometimes I do, but not hardcore. Hey, it's happening. Hey, it's happening right now. Hey, you missed it. It happened. And pulling stuff out of it and really maximizing each piece of content rather than tomorrow trying to make another reel about something. And then the next day doing a live on my real estate podcast. And then the next day doing yada, yada, more. Make a nice solid piece of content and then spend more time promoting that piece of content. And I guess a good way to do that, and a lot of podcasters do that, and any of us who have long form content can do it, and I do it a little bit with our other podcasts, but you have your long form. If you go to Joe Rogan or Club Shay Shay or whatever, any long form podcast, there's the long one that's 2 or 3 hours, but then they also have 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes of each section and all the different sections. And it's repetitive, but it works and they do it. And some people like those little tidbits or whatever. So we could always be taking our longer form and promoting it more, and just in general promoting what we've made already rather than trying to make new stuff. I even do that sometimes. Like I try to post something in my stories about either real estate or Google Business Profile or local SEO every day. And if I don't have the time or I don't feel like it or whatever, I usually just go and find one of my old reels that still applies and then share that to my stories. And almost every time not everybody's seen it. Nobody's seen it really. Probably 0.5% of my entire audience, and nobody in the world really has seen it. So sharing stuff or promoting stuff that you've already done, especially when it's quality and it really could help somebody, is a good idea, I think. And that is all I got on my list here. Anybody have any questions, additions, issues, wins, anything out of that? And if not, I will get to my meeting, which hopefully works properly. I've switched to doing my calls and episodes to my office because my home internet sucks. I've switched back and forth this year a couple times. I have Xfinity and now Brightspeed available. And Brightspeed's supposed to be the new optical, or I don't know, the faster one, but it sucks. And then I switched back to Xfinity. It still sucks. I don't want to back to Brightspeed. And now they both suck. So I'm going to sit there and just come to the office to do my stuff. And hopefully that works today. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching and listening. If nobody has anything, we will peace out. Have a good one, everybody.